It's part of what I am. And my hands, even if I didn't have the piano, they would be thinking music. In this state of mind, which I'm in right now, I want to invite you just to relax into wherever you are. Some of you are watching virtually, some of you are here. And I just want you to relax and see everything around you. Just look around and see if you're outside, maybe not today, but if you're looking outside, you'll see things like clouds, maybe rain. Maybe you'll see not too many birds today. They usually like the sun. Or you could be in the sanctuary. And as you look through and around everything in here, you realize that everything you see is available to you right now because you're seeing it. And just breathe in deeply. Breathe in the essence of what is life. It's the breath of life. Breathe in that breath of life and breathe out. Breathe out your creation. And breathe in again and feel that sustenance throughout your whole being, your mind, your body, your soul, your heart. Just feel that in all the cells. And just breathe and get in the place of the silence, where all you see is available to you right now. And with your eyes now gently closed, just imagine that you're walking down the street near where you live, and as you walk down, the street ends and you have to cross the street at the point where this one ends. But as you walk, right now you notice that house down there across the street, and you can see some trees and you see the clouds. And even today, it's cloudy. As you get closer, you begin to see the mountains in the background. You're just walking along, and everything you see is all you see. All you can see, all that is there for you to see. And as you approach that house, the mountains recede. But you just walk. As you walk, everything just changes. But you are aware of this very thing that you see as you walk. Ever changing. And you just know that everything is available to you. When you open your eyes, you can see everything. But what you also see is you see something you like to call the horizon. But that horizon keeps changing the closer you get to the house. So you know that there is so much more. And as you reach these new areas, you remember all you saw before. And you are just aware that there is so much, and how you move and how you open your eyes and see allows you to see. Just let the music and take you deeper. Gently close your eyes, keep them where you can only see inside. Right now you might be seeing the little particles, biophotons. You might see something like an expanding telescopic lens as you open your mind. Some people call it the third eye, the mind's eye. It's what you see when you're looking inside. And it just feels so nice and peaceful. Like you've always been here. This is where you've always been when you were little, and you remember your mom holding you. And it just feels so good. And as you go deeper, place your hand on your heart. Immediately, it feels warm. It may feel hot, maybe burning, but it feels good. Like a glowing ember that has all the heat and warmth, but doesn't burn you. Glowing colors like purple, orange, red, yellow, blue. Just feeling so good, so warm. And now just let yourself go deeper. Now, as you are just here in this place, and all those thoughts just coming in, and as they come in, you just let them go. They keep coming. And you just let them go. You're open to all that is there as you look. As you look inside through that telescoping lens that ever expands. And in the silence, some of those thoughts, maybe one of them just says, oh my God, yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to say to her. I know what I'm going to tell him. These thoughts revealing stuff. It's not new, but your eyes are open inside, and you see everything. Things become clear, and that thought just says, yes, this is mine to do. Yes, I know. I don't have to do that anymore. Just feels so good. Just as you feel this and you just begin to open your eyes and you come into the consciousness of where you are in this room, in this place, wherever that is. And you open your eyes and you just feel so good because the sun, even through the clouds, is there. And you see that now. And you see the room that you're in. And it just is the light and love that you are. And this place where you are is always available every time. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the service, being with you. God bless.
Thank you, Chris. And we'll be coming back to you live for our regular service starting in about 5 minutes. Rev Mike? That's your mic.
Good morning, Ahiah. Woo, boy. I am still reeling from that meditation. Chris just took me to outer space and brought me back, but I'm not sure that I'm all back yet. It's a double whammy this morning. Beautiful meditation, being in the energy with all of you and just holding the space, knowing that we are moving to filling the sanctuary once again as we are holding in our mind's eye. And as I love to say, God morning, because God is the only thing that's happening here. No matter where you are, what time of day that you're watching this, wherever you are on the planet, God is right where you are, right where we are. Yes? Yes. So, let's see. Who am I? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, your guide on the side, assistant minister here. And I am supporting Reverend Scott, our beloved senior minister. And this month, the theme is Holy Uprising. And today's wisdom talk, there we go. Uplift and shift. Indeed. How appropriate for this day and age. Our musical inspiration is Grace Fae, back in the house. Thank you, Grace, for gracing us with your beautiful presence. And, of course, the Sunday band, you've got a chance to meet some of them already. Chris Glick tickling the keyboards. We got Leon Johnson on the bass. And Brother Brian Menifee on percussions over there, bringing in that vibe, that resonance, that beat that he carries so well, so well. And let's see, who else? Oh, and of course, our practitioner for today is also Chris Glick. He'll be leading us in the invocation, the inspirational reading, and just bringing that mellow vibe that he does so well, so well. So with that, why don't we move through into the beautiful visual meditation that Gabriel has put together for us this morning. We'll take a moment to just kind of center ourselves down, and then we'll come back for some more of God's party. Yes.
Oh, gather up the brokenness, bring it to me now. The fragrance of those promises you never dared to vow. The splendor that you carry, the cross you left behind. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. And let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the in arbitrary space, and none of us deserving of the cruelty or the grace. Oh, solitude of longing, where love has been confined. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, say the darkness yielding that tore the light apart. Come healing of the reason, come healing of the heart. Oh, troubleness concealing an undivided love, the heart beneath is teaching to the broken heart above. And let the heavens falter, let all the earth proclaim, come healing of the altar, come healing of the name. To lift the little bud, oh, longing of the arteries to purify the blood, and let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb. Oh, let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the limb.
That was beautiful. So, I'm going to ask Chris Glick to come on up, and he's going to do our invocation and our reading.
Good morning, Ahiah. It's wonderful to be here today. It's wonderful to see faces, people, real people. And, you know, in that, I just feel like this is the divine space that we are. And I feel called to do the invocation first, and then I'll do the reading, because I just want to welcome each and every one of you, those that are watching here, those that are in one of our 3 live streaming formats. I want to welcome each one of you into this divine space. It's the space where God is. We could be in our cars, in our houses, but we're in the space where God is right now. And in that space that we're in right now, I'm connected to that divine thing. And so are you. And I just invite each and every one and myself in this space to recognize this presence and be one with it. And know that this revealing this healing, this state of awareness that we are today is all God. It's all spirit. And in this, we just are able to be right now. And in being, I don't do anything because when I allow God, it's all done. And being human, I'm in the world of all the experiences. Some of them are not pleasant, some of them are. But I'm still here. I is my connection with God. You have that same divine connection. Like the meditation this morning, we're just in it. We're allowing it. And I welcome each one of you, and I thank God for this. I thank Reverend Scott, Reverend Michael, all the practitioners that are here. I thank Gloria, the musicians. This is where it's just wonderful to be grateful for all this good. And with that, I just release this to the law of God, knowing it's already done. And together, let's say, and so it is. Amen. Amen. For the reading today, and I brought the cover in case I forgot the title and the author, so I could look at it. So the author is Joel S. Goldsmith. Currently, we have a book study, which I'm aware of, and although I'm not attending that right now, I read this work, and today, the art of spiritual healing is the source of my reading. And it begins on page 142. It is not your understanding or ability that will ever help you or anyone else. It is God's understanding and ability of which you permit yourself to be the avenue, just as a composer permits melodies to flow through him. Is the composer the creator of the music? Is the poet the creator of poetry? Is the artist the creator of sculpture or painting? No. Every creative artist is but the avenue through which the creative capacity of God expresses. He is the instrument, the paintbrush, the chisel, and the hammer at the hands of God. That is all a poet is. That is all a painter or sculptor is. That is all you and I are. And thinking of the word all, I'm just inserting this. You know, all doesn't have to be, oh, this is all I have. The all is all. You are all of that. We are all of that. I'm going to skip down. It is always thought, if we always thought spiritual guidance in every activity of our experience with no attempt to translate it into the human realm, we would be so spiritually fulfilled and illumined that illumination would lead us not only to our true spiritual teaching, but even to such mundane things as finding the right dress, the right car, or the right apartment. In the scale of God, there is no difference in these things. God is fulfillment. Say that again. God is fulfillment. Spiritual illumination cannot come to you without bringing with it your correct employment or your rightful home. God cannot be divided. God is not divisible. The activity of God does not include one thing and leave out another. God could not reveal itself to you as some form of right activity and then leave you without supply. And God could not reveal itself as supply and leave out right activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And while Chris is going to the piano, I'm going to ask Grace Fae to come on up. She's our musical inspiration today. And I'm looking forward to it. I heard it earlier, but I'm looking forward to hearing it again.
It's nice to see all your faces. I've been doing the live streams, but I'll try to be a vessel here, like a paintbrush. Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile, and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through on you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although those tears may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. just smile.
That was so sweet. Thank you, Grace. Oh, I felt that right along with you, so thank you. So I'm not sure. We're trying something a little bit new here, so bear with me as we get used to actually having a live audience here. It's wonderful having you here online with us, and it's so lovely, all of you who came out in the rain. Oh my God. I know that there's many of our Ahiah family that are more like cats, you know. They got up this morning, saw I was ready, and went back to bed. So that's all good, because I know you're out there joining us online. That's the wonder of this technology. It's so wonderful. My name is Reverend Scott Olson, and it's truly my pleasure to be here with you all today. And so our theme for May is Holy Uprising. And so it's a holy, W-H, holy, followed by holy, the divine holy. And it's an uprising. We get to come up. We get to lift ourselves up. And I know that here at Ahiah, right now, I'm feeling that presence of an uprising, because, you know, we're here back live. It's so much better right now in 2021 than it was a year ago in 2020. It's definitely been this uprising, and I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful to be here with you today. And so if it's holy and it's uprising, why is that? I think that's because, you know, it's holy because we're standing up for each other's rights. We've been working this last year to stand up for all of our individuals, all of our brothers and sisters in this world. It's important. It's what makes this journey of our lives holy. And I know that we're standing, when we do that, we're standing in love, the capital L love. That love that is divine. It's the love that is absolute acceptance. It's accepting each and every person, no matter how they show up. It's bringing people into our circle, no matter who they are. It's like being the master teacher Jesus, as he brought everyone into his circle. There was nobody that was cast out. Even the lepers, you know, he brought them in. The people that in the Jewish faith at that time would have been considered the most unclean. But he reached out, he grabbed people, he pulled them in. And that's what we do. And that's what we do here in this community, is we pull people in. We speak only love. We come from that place of love, which is divine acceptance. It's also divine givingness. Divine love is. That's the other aspect of divine love, is the absolute givingness that God is. And we get to be that conduit. We get to absolutely give from what we are given. And we do that. And that makes it a holy uprising. A friend of mine this morning at 5 o'clock this morning, I get up at 4:15 on Sundays, so I was already up, but he texted me, because he texts me every morning. He sends me a little inspirational writing. His name is Reverend Timothy Rich, and this morning he sent me a little thing that started out with, a bucket brigade is only effective if each passes on what has been given to him. You know, you get a bucket brigade, you get this whole line of people, and there's a fire over there, and there's water over here, and the guy over here, he's filling up the buckets as fast as he can, and he's passing them forward. And the guy at the far end, he's taking the bucket and he's throwing it on the flames. Now just imagine for a moment if the guy in the middle says, I'm a little worried that fire might come over here. I want to keep my water, right? I'm going to keep this water in case the fire gets past all these guys. I'll have some water to throw on it. Well, we all know what would happen then, right? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because the fire's not getting put out anymore. It's just going to expand and it's going to overtake those guys in front of him. And now he's going to be the one tossing the water on the fire. You know, and so when we participate in this fire brigade, you know, when we actually move through and allow the water to come through us, everything is great and we get to participate in a holy, holy uprising. So I'm going to ask Reverend Mike to come on up, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he thinks about holy, holy uprisings. Come on up, Rev.
Thank you, Rev. And thank you, Grace, for that loving rendition of Smile. You know, you brought back to me a remembrance of one of my mother's favorite activities was to embarrass me and my brothers to no end with these maudlin performances of songs like Smile. There was another one about the banana tree. Oop, there goes another, you know. And she would just remind us that there was joy. When we were down, when we were mad, upset about something, she'd go into her performance and she'd sing that song, Just Smile. So thank you for the remembrance this morning. What does it mean to uprise? That's the question that we're asking ourselves this morning. Uprising. What is it? I believe it's a remembrance of the awakening that's taking place in our lives right now. Remembering our call, that inner call to human revolution, human evolution, which is unavoidable. Everything's in a state of evolution. That one thing that must change, it's everything. Back in the day, there was a poet, Gil Scott Heron, some of you might remember him. He said the revolution will not be televised. I would add to that, but it is being broadcast. I remember back in the day, my dad and I would have these vibrant conversations about the revolution. And he would say the revolution would be suppressed if it ever were to occur. And we would argue to no end because I knew differently then. I knew that the truth crushed to the earth will rise again. And I know that right now that the revolution is occurring as a human evolution. It's in every one of us. It's in all of our systems. It's a profound shift in consciousness. It's a shift in our awareness that we are finally awakening to accept our inner knowing of what we know. We're uplifting our vibratory frequency and realizing that what we have been pretending not to know. The Dalai Lama said that it is very easy to awaken one who sleeps, but very difficult to awaken one who sleeps on purpose. It's becoming increasingly difficult to sleep on purpose today. We are all being shaken. Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. Another one of my mom's songs. Back in the day when we used to have malls, remember malls? People used to go to the mall. They used to have these 3D pictures on the wall, and you'd see a crowd gathering around, and you'd come up like, what are they looking at? What are they looking at? And when you managed to peek over somebody's head, you'd see this jumbled mess. And people were like, wow, look, look, look. And the longer you looked, the more you began to see emerging from this jumbled mess a richly textured 3D image. And you'd go, wow, look at that. And as we look out on the human stage today, the human drama, we are seeing with the eyes of spirit in us a richly textured 3D image of a world that works for everyone, a world without war, without poverty, without children hungry in the richest nation in the world. without mass incarceration, without all of that old belief systems that we thought we needed to have. At one time, we thought, well, we got enough food for everybody, but if we give the food away, then it might upset the economic balance. I mean, that's a real belief system somewhere on the planet. And we are waking up to realize, wait, that ain't true. That's not right. So what we're awakening to see is what the Spirit sees through us, seeing the divine emerge, seeing the potential that is present in us to create a new world. The image is inside of us. And as metaphysicians, we know that everything is created twice, first in mind and then in physical world reality. So it is this creative mind in us that imagines the new world. Now, when an ant builds its colony, it does not elect somebody else to do it. It doesn't elect a representative, a president, a leader. The ant has embedded in it a divine imperative to do what is inside of it to do. It doesn't worry that it can't eat the whole elephant by itself. Doesn't worry about that. It doesn't worry that it can't build the whole colony by itself. It simply follows a force, a divine call within it, an imperative that tells it, join the collective and do what is yours to do. And following that divine presence inside of it, it could build a colony anywhere, even under your house. And to anyone who has ever had an ant colony anywhere close by, you know that it is a force that cannot be denied. That little ant with all his little cousins and family. Truth is divine in nature and cannot be avoided. It cannot be denied. Even if we create constructs based on a lie, sooner or later they will crumble and fall. My grandmother back in the day would say, boy, what's done in the dark is going to come out in the light. Even the truth within us, sometimes buried by that crazy roommate inside of us who constantly tells us wacky stuff all the time, even truth will be revealed to the crazy roommate. For there are spiritual practices that we have in this philosophy, such as spiritual journaling. When we take the pen and we put it to paper, we can see a lie revealed as glaring truth. Because once you write a lie, you see it immediately. And you say, wait, that ain't true. And something is happening within us all now as a collective, a glaring spotlight, revealing to us the old lies of the past, the call to uplift, the call to shift, the call to our next evolutionary stage in human consciousness. Somewhere it's written that many are called, but few are chosen. I believe that the call went out on a loudspeaker and you have said yes. You're here today. You're present. You're listening. You're tuned in to this frequency. And some of the truth that's being revealed to us is showing us that we are a human family connected by the silver thread. And the change being evoked through us is happening to us. We are awakening to a divine call to shift our beliefs, to uplift our life condition, to reveal the qualities of compassion and service and inspiration and creativity that uplifts the entire human family. And so the question I have for you today is, what is yours to do? Like the little ant marching on his marching orders or her marching orders, what is yours to do? What is one thing that you could do, that you've dreamed of doing? What would you do for the human family if you knew you could not fail? You see, it's this question and the answer to it, no matter how simple or minute you may judge it to be, that is the key to our uprising. For each one of us, like that tiny ant, is implanted with a program that we are being called to execute. Every day we're given a lesson in our curriculum that empowers us to help leverage the shift that's occurring inside of us and around us. for everything is in a state of evolution. The climate, our education system, criminal justice system, equity, equality, even our spirituality, our ideas about humanity and race. I was talking with somebody yesterday, I think it was Marsha. Black people in America have only had civil rights for 56 years. OMG, I'm older than that. And the idea of whiteness has only been around for 300 years, and my great-grandmother, who was Ashkenazi Jew, was not considered white. And her husband, who was Irish, he was not considered white. You know, it's like a new idea, something that we made up. But we are awakening to the truth that there is one race, it's the human race. And that we are all one alien spaceship away from accepting the fact that we are human. We are the human race. It doesn't matter whether you came from the South Side or you came from Scandinavia or wherever. One spaceship. And our struggle is not to become more spiritual because we are spirit. We are spirit in form. Our struggle is becoming truly human. The word human, H-U, is an ancient name for God. Hugh. And if we can call ourselves into remembrance that we are named after God, that our name and our nature is that of God, and that we are just awakening from a dream in which we dreamed that we were separated from God. That God was over there and we were over here. And maybe we can experience that shift and we can uplift one another. In closing, I would like to invite you to consider an ancient Sufi practice. It's called the remembrance. And Chris led us through a little bit of it in the meditation this morning. It just involves placing your hand gently over your heart, turning within, and remembering the name of God. Whatever that name is, it's the one who goes by many names and who responds to them all. So if you call that name Allah, Shiva, Yahweh, Christ, Holy Spirit, whatever that name is, we establish a conscious contact, a remembrance. Say that name gently, letting it roll off your tongue, through your voice and your heart. Let it become your constant call to the divine within you that has called you forth. And let us remember, in closing, the Sufi poet Rumi's writing. He said, asleep or awake, writing or reading, whatever you do, you must never be without the remembrance of God. Namaste, family.
Wow, thank you, Rev. I have to remember that about that alien spaceship, you know? Oh. So, you know, I'm still getting used to doing this, looking out and seeing an audience. You know, it's just been a while. And I see people in the back, too. Hello, everyone in the fellowship hall. It's good to see you back there, too. So today's talk title is Uplift and Shift. And I wanted to look up these two words and think about them a little bit. And so I want to start off with shift. And back in the day, you know, for those of you who are my age, you know, when I learned to drive, you pretty much had to learn how to drive a stick shift, you know, because there were a lot of them out there. Today's world, you can get away with you know, not knowing how to do one because almost all the cars are automatic. But I think we still relate. You guys still relate to shifting gears, right? And there's a process of shifting a gear. You put your foot on the clutch and press in, and then you shift, and then you re-engage the clutch. And once you do that, you can go faster than you were able to go before. And so that's what happens in our lives also from an internal process, is that we shift in the same way. right? We engage a process, something happens, like we take a deep breath or count to 10 or something. And then when we come out, we're more centered. We're more alive. We're more here. And we've shifted so that we're actually more loving human beings in that moment. And then whenever I think of the word uplift, I think back to, junior high. I think I was taught the phrase orographic uplift, which just means that, we kind of see it here in California because we're close to the coast. If you have water coming, or you have the wind coming off of the ocean water and it goes to the mountain, it's all thick with water, but there's no clouds. And when it gets to the mountain, it's forced up and it gets cold. The air gets cold, and so you end up with the water condensing, which means you have a cloud. And then what happens? You get rain. And the rain, it falls and it nurtures all these plants down below. And you get uplift. Right? That's an uplifting process, both orographically and also for the plants down below. It's beautiful. And so we have shifting and we have uplifting. And every 3 months, Reverend Mike and Reverend Karen and I, we meet to look at the titles that CSL publishes, because I like most of them, but not all of them. And so we've decided, we have the power to change it. And so this month, or for this week, we decided to change the title. And we were talking about shifting and uplifting. And so when I was thinking about it, I was like, should it be shift and then uplift, or uplift then shift? Which one comes first? And then I finally realized, we can do it either way. We can shift then uplift, or we can uplift then shift. So I'm going to talk about both processes today. And so let's start with shift then uplift. I love this idea of shifting, our mental processes. It's a favorite of mine. I ran into a book when I was in ministerial school called 15 Commitments for Conscious Leadership, and I adore this book. And in fact, I decided at the time that I would base my ministry, how I would show up as a minister, primarily on this book. It's a great book. And so one of the things it says is that the basic idea is that you should, in your life, be able to tell whether you're below the line, where you don't want to be, or above the line, where you like to be. And it's not so important whether you're below the line or above the line in any particular moment. It's that you're aware. And when you're aware that you're below the line, you shift to above the line. And so we have a quote here. Let me get this thing going again. We have a quote from the 15 Commitments. It defines shifting as: shifting is moving from closed to open, from defensive to curious, from wanting to be right to wanting to learn, and from fighting for the survival of the individual ego to leading from a place of security and trust. So do I want to be right, or do I want to learn? If I want to be right, I'm below the line. If I want to learn, I'm above the line. And I used to worry about this a lot when I was a kid, because it wasn't safe in my family to be wrong, right? If I was wrong, it meant you were weak. If I was wrong, it meant that you could be ridiculed or yelled at. And so I was always battling to be right in my family. Fortunately, I've given up that. Right? I've been able to give that up. And I found in my life that has paid off really well. I remember, there was a time back in my old day work, that I worked at Northrop Grumman for 30 years. And there was a time 20-some years ago when I was a first-line manager. And I was running a advanced semiconductor fab. And we were trying to up production by 10 times as many wafers through as we used to do. And so we were having these meetings every day, 4 days a week, from 5 o'clock until whenever. They would go until 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. They would feed you dinner, but that was about it. And we'd been doing this for a while, for over a year. And there was a particular problem, and the junior engineer was trying to solve it. And he had made a couple of presentations at this meeting. And the department manager wasn't happy because what he was showing in the data went against what the department manager wanted the answer to be. And so he kept kind of undercutting this junior engineer. And so one day I just said, you know, I think we need to look at the data. I think we need to listen to the data. I think we should, you know, base our decisions on that, and I think this deserves to be looked at. My manager went off on me. He had never done that to me before. I'd seen him do it a couple of times to other people, never done it to me. I'd been working for him for over 10 years. I was surprised. I was shocked. I was actually a little appalled. And and I decided right then, is it that important that I'm right? Is it important for me to fight him? And I decided, no, you know, it's not that important for me to do that. At the end of that meeting, I went back into my office. It was 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I had 3 people, 3 of these other managers, and we're all kind of vying. We're all, you know, the same level of management. We're all vying for the next job up. And 3 of them came by that night and they applauded me for the way I had handled that. And in the end, the reality is in the end, things shifted about a year later and I got the old department manager's job. And when I look back on that, I realize that it was that moment. That was the key deciding moment. And I think we get to just choose. We get to decide, is it important to be right? Or is it important to learn? And that's a huge thing as far as us being able to uplift our life. I think another reason why we decide to technology. I'm going to figure this out. Another reason why we need to shift in these ways is because people around us hold us down. Now, they really don't have any power over us. It's our choice. But Ernest Holmes, he says it like this. He says, "We will not refuse to help the helpless or lift up the fallen, but we will refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies." What that means to me is that there are people around us all the time who are coming from places that are below the line. They're coming from places of racism, sexism, homophobia, pessimism. Oh, I'm a victimism. You know, whatever the ism is, right? There's all sorts of isms out there. Pick your poison, really. And we can choose to have them take us down, or we can choose to lift them up and to lift ourselves up at the same time. It's a shift. We shift from below the line to above the line. And when we do that, when we shift in that way, we are uplifted. We feel spirit and we feel ourselves uplifted. Now, the other way is true also. We can uplift and then shift. And I think that is absolutely true, because in the first process, when we shift first, that's a mental process, right? Remember, push in the clutch, shift the gear. That kind of shift is a process that we choose and we invoke it. But when we uplift first, this is a process of God. This is a divine process. And this is the truth of Spirit in our life all the time, because Spirit is always, always, always wanting, not wanting, it's kind of pushing us, right? Spirit doesn't want, Spirit does. Spirit pushes us. And so our life, my life, I know this is true for me, is it's spiraling up. It's always spiraling up. It's always, always, always higher and better. I said the other week that somebody reminded me on my birthday that, you know, to make sure and remember that every decade is better than the last one. And that's been so true for my life. Every decade's been better than the last one. That's because Spirit has been pushing me along, pushing me higher. And so, you know, we live in a world of oneness and unity. And we live in this world in such a way that how we are, this oneness and unity, means that how I am affects you, and affects you, and affects you. And the truth is, it's the same the other direction. Now, there's a guy named David Hawkins. And David Hawkins wrote a great book called Power versus Force. And he says, he says that you can measure this impact. He had a process, I won't go into it, of measuring it, but the lowest way, he calls it how we vibrate, you know, our lowest vibration level is shame, right? If we're in shame, that's as low as we can go. But on the opposite end is enlightenment. And there's so many levels in between, right? But enlightenment is all the way at the top. And so the person who's in the shame vibration in this moment is pulling you down. But the person who's in the enlightenment mode, he's lifting you up in the oneness that God is. And the thing that David Hawkins said that's so fascinating, he said that one person that is enlightened, one person enlightened, counterbalances 750,000 people living in shame. Just think about that for a second. If we had 10,000 enlightened people on this planet, we could counterbalance everything. And so our job, according to David, is up on the screen here. He says, in this interconnected universe, every improvement we make in our private world improves the world at large for everyone. Simple kindness to oneself and all that lives is the most powerful transformational force of all. Simple kindness. I'm so happy to be here at Ahiah. Because I know in this community that we speak only love. We speak only love. It's kindness, it's compassion. And that is what is going to uplift the whole world. And when we uplift the world, we shift. We shift to a higher way of being, to a higher vibration level. And that is what's going to cure this world. That is what's going to reveal the healing, the wholeness, the order, the love, and the peace and the joy that God is. And so I have an affirmation that's on your screen, and I invite you to read it along with me. I know that Spirit is always lifting me up, so I shift gears and go. Let's say that one more time. I know that Spirit is always lifting me up, so I shift gears and go. All right, family. And so as we go out into our week, what I want you to remember is that being right is not important. It's really not. Learning is more important. And I want you to remember to transform ourselves so that we can transform the world. Shifting just a little bit up makes such a huge difference to the world around us. It just takes a smile, simple act of kindness. And as always, if you're not quite sure what to do, just let Spirit guide you. Thank you, and namaste. So let's just take this moment to anchor this in with a little bit of prayer. Knowing absolutely that this life, this power, this presence, that God is, that Spirit is everything and everywhere. It's the love and the peace and the kindness, the joy. It shows up in all life, in all consciousness, everywhere in the world. It shows up so much. I feel it right here in this building that's been so prayed up. I know absolutely that this life that is everywhere in every place and every time, that it is the truth of each and every one of us. That power, that presence that is Spirit is the truth of my life. It's the truth of your life. It's the truth of your life out there too. And so I know absolutely, as this life is love, I am love. This life is peace and joy. You are peace and joy. As this life is order and wholeness and harmony, we are all order and harmony. And I'm knowing from that place that I speak my word as the truth of each and every one of us, that we are that life, that power, that presence, and that the love that God is the truth of each of us. And as that love expresses fully and completely in our lives as absolute acceptance, as absolute givingness, that it moves through us and as us, and it shows up in everything that we do. It shows up in all the relationships we have. It shows up in all the partnerships we have. It shows up even when we don't know it shows up. And so I know that as that love is circulating through me and is circulating through you, we are uplifting this world. We're shifting this world to a higher vibration state, to a higher state of consciousness, to a higher knowing of the love and the peace and the joy that God is. And so that's reflecting back into each and every one of our lives with beauty and with grace. And for knowing that to be so true, I just give thanks. And I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. So now's the time for our conscious contributions. And for those of us here inside, there are envelopes in the pews that you can put your name on. And we will not be passing the basket due to COVID issues, but we will have a basket outside in the patio, probably right here because it's raining. So I think we're only going to be opening these doors today, or back in the back foyer area for you to drop in as you're leaving today. And for those of you who are online, there are 3 ways to donate to Ahiah. One is to go to our website, ahiah.com/donate. A second is to text to give, and a number is showing on your screen. And the third is to just write a check and send it to Ahiah. I love getting those checks, and I love getting the notes with the checks. So please, feel free to do that too. Whatever makes you comfortable, we are happy. And what I want you to know is that everything that you give goes to support this community to be a loving place of kindness. And so if you go ahead and take that gift and put it to your heart, and on the screen is our blessing, if you'll say it along with me. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share this gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so now I'd like to ask Grace to come on up and grace us with another. I know you're probably getting tired of those, aren't you? But she's going to sing us another song.
You can't get tired of Grace.
I know.
It's always here. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight on the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Oh, I used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused a spark that's a 4-alarm fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow or candlelight on the mistletoe. But now when you turn the lamp down low, I'm beginning to see the light. You know, I used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and caused a spark that's a 4-alarm fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I'm beginning to
Yes, yes. I'm beginning to see the light too. So we have a couple quick announcements. One of them, I'm not sure if I actually remembered to do that. One of them is the class for our Creating Beloved Community coming up tomorrow, actually. Everybody is welcome. This will be our 6th time teaching this. We've been making a lot of progress, and it's wonderful for us to handle this topic. You know, right now we're focusing on creating the beloved community from the place of dealing with racism in this world. And so we're doing a lot of deep work, and it's really moving work, and it's good to be in community together. I have my class on Tuesday night. You're still welcome to join. And then we have an announcement from Nancy Johnson. And so I'm going to try and pull that up. I don't.
Oh, gather up the brokenness, bring it to me now. The fragrance of those promises.
Good morning, Ahiah family. As some of the health department restrictions are lifting, it is time for us to renew our outreach and commitment to Friends Indeed and their food pantry. During the pandemic, they were serving twice as many families as before. After discussion with the director, we will support them with a targeted drive each month, mainly with non-food items that all families need. For the month of May, we will donate bars of soap. So when you shop, please pick up a couple of bars to donate. There will be a basket in the lobby each Sunday in May, and I will do the final collection on Sunday, May 30th. If you are not returning to church yet, you can call me for a pickup or drop off. You may also donate online at ahiah.com and choose Friends Indeed, and I will do the shopping for you. As always, I thank you in advance for your abundant giving.
Next to the bookstore. So now's the time for our benediction. So I can't quite get that one up on the screen, but you guys know it. So you can just follow along with me, and it should be on your screen at home. If I don't get the first words right, it doesn't come out right. You know how that works? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. So, thank you, everyone. I will be joining you. I'm going to talk to a few of the people that are here first, but I'll be joining you in the Zoom room right after that. And you can get to the Zoom room by going to ahiah.com/virtual. Love to see you there. And for everybody that's here, we'll go ahead and exit. If you're in the sanctuary, we'll exit out of this way. If you're in the fellowship hall, if you'd please go down the hallway and exit out the double white doors, that would be great. I love you guys. I will see you next week.